Hi everyone, welcome back to The Shelves Have Eyes. I'm Phantom, and today we'll be completing Tarn Tuesdays for the foreseeable future with an unboxing and review of Transformers Legacy United Doom and Destruction Collection, Decepticon Bludgeon, and Decepticon Ruckus. Now the Doom and Destruction Collection is Amazon exclusive, and it appears to be a lot of repaints of previously existing figures and minor retoolings into, I guess, members of Squadron X or some affiliate of that. I can't remember what they were called in the original Marvel comic. What were they called in the original Marvel comic? Because it was the Wreckers, but the Wreckers' enemies in the comic were, I know it's like Squadron X in IDW. Who were their enemies? The Mayhem Attack Squad. Mayhem Attack Squad. Oh my god, I don't know why I didn't know that. Mayhem Attack Squad, or Mayhem, as it's later used. Yes, because the Doom and Destruction Collection this time includes Iron Fist, or Fistatron, and Carnivac. Carnivac was the leader of the Mayhem Attack Squad in the original Marvel comic, and leader of the Mayhem Attack Squad in the IDW Sins of the Wreckers? I think it was Sins of the Wreckers that he first appeared. As it stands, this one is kind of weird, because neither of these two characters in this set are members of Mayhem. And really, neither of them are enemies of the Wreckers either. It just seems to be, this Doom and Destruction just seems to be a catch-all, because there was an entire run of the Marvel UK series that included the Triggercons, of which Ruckus is one, Windsweeper is another, Crankcase is the last one. They just had flip-out guns in both robot and vehicle modes. They came out fairly late in the G1 toy line, and I mean, it was too late for them to really appear in commercials or to appear in, for the animated commercials, or in a huge place of pride for the comic. So they just really found their way into the UK comic, and eventually the main Marvel US comic. But Ruckus was a Triggercon, Windsweeper is another Triggercon, which I believe the toy for Windsweeper in this collection is a tool repaint of Needlenose, and then Crankcase. And Crankcase obviously is a much bigger thing in IDW than he was in the original Marvel UK. But yeah, they were never members of Mayhem, nor were they members of Squadron X. They just kind of did their own thing, and they worked against and for Thunderwing for a little while in the comic, and then they just kind of faded into obscurity after Unicron, the Unicron event in the comics. Bludgeon, this is a really weird one too, because Bludgeon leads his own thing. And at one point in time, he was leader of the Mayhem Attack Squad, I believe, in the Marvel UK comics. But this isn't that version of Bludgeon. This is IDW Bludgeon. So I don't really know what they're doing. Looking at the box, very nice, attractive line art of the two characters. So we have Takara Tomy, we have tentacles for the Mayhem Attack Squad, and here is the logo for the Mayhem Attack Squad. On the top of the box, we've got Ruckus on one side, Bludgeon on the other. It's just the same line art on the other side. And then we have renditions of what they're supposed to look like in their toys, which clearly that's the reason why. This is just another retool, repaint of the Tarn mold to make Bludgeon. Ruckus is kind of interesting though, because he's a weird retooling and completely new remolding of remolded parts, or molded parts rather, of Beachcomber. So that's really weird, because that's a Scout class figure, and this is a Deluxe class figure version of Ruckus. So we'll see how that works out. But without further ado, how about we open this and get started? Okay, not really much inside the box aside from this packaging insert, and they've once again combined the instructions for both figures into one manual. So, if somebody's keeping count of that. So here we have the figures fresh out of their packaging, and in the process of taking Bludgeon out of the package, one of his turrets came off, and now it kind of stubbornly refuses to stay in. It's in there so loosely. Now, these can come out of both versions of Tarn and the previous version of Bludgeon, and they are 5mm stocks, so he could just hold them like these weird batons. And in the previous versions of this mold, it was very difficult to get them off. You were more likely to break this piece, but for this one, they won't even stay in. So I wonder if that is baked into this or not. This does seem to be solid plastic rather than the painted clear plastic form that we saw in previous versions of this mold. So they're always making little improvements, it seems. Ah, well, this is Bludgeon, isn't it? So let's do this. Let's do this differently. And this Bludgeon once again comes with a sword, which is not the same sword that the previous version of Bludgeon had. This one is much more drab. It's matte. I actually think that this is very attractive. This is a very attractive sword. And for Ruckus, we have these two blasters, and then this blaster, which looks like it's the front of his vehicle mode. So he can hold one. And these are supposed to simulate his Triggercon ability, which in the original G1 toy was spring activated, but in this one you need to manually flip them. Not a big deal. So here are the characters outside of the box, just fresh out of the box in their robot modes. I will say that Ruckus he seems to have problems standing up. He's got these heels, these huge chunky heels to help him stand, but the problem is they're on kind of rockers, but the rockers don't really help when the actual leg isn't really. He just looks weird when you rock his heels like that. It's because this whole lower assembly is his heel, so he just kind of ends up like this is deformed in some way. So maybe he would look better in an action pose, I guess. But the problem with that is his knee is conspicuously low on his body. So essentially what you're looking at here is, this is his thigh. His thigh goes into his knee. This is the knee joint. His leg, his lower leg, is just this piece. And this entire lower half is his foot. So proportion-wise, he's a little weird and strange. I do like how this figure does kind of bring back what Transformers used to be in the late 80s. He is very chunky. He does still have a hip swivel, which is nice, but he has like no back to him. If you see this, look here, his back is like that. There's just nothing there. So proportionally, he's a little weird. His arms are nice, I guess. They're very well molded. His flip-out guns make it so that his arms can't raise all the way, but if you flip those back, I suppose he's got a pretty good range of motion. Sorry, Bludgeon. I'll put you over here for right now because your sword is getting in the way. So my understanding is that this is a retool of the Beachcomber mold, which was a Scout class figure. And Beachcomber's proportions always bothered me because his legs looked really short. His torso was huge and his limbs were really short. So by making Ruckus out of him, they actually have fixed that issue because now his torso seems to be proportional to his limbs even if his limbs are very curiously divvied up. It's still Beachcomber's arms, really. Still Beachcomber's torso, and the legs have been fixed, really. I mean, Beachcomber's upper leg is still there. It's just been replaced with this huge appendage, let's just say. But I like it. I like the fact that they retain the ability to flip out his guns, even if they're not spring activated like they used to be. He looks very nice. He's a very nice representation of the character. Pays very good homage to the original G1 toy. His torso is a bit plain, but I mean, once again, that just kind of makes me feel more like the original G1 toy, because he does have what looks to be, I mean, they're paint applications, but they're very evocative of the foil stickers from the original G1 toys. So you have basically a bare torso with an insignia, and then his limbs are what get the labels. So it's nice. It's actually a very interesting way to do it. I actually don't mind the fact that his torso is so plain. He still looks good. The face is a very nice likeness as well. I mean, for what little we saw of Ruckus in the original comic, I mean, he did appear a couple of times, but this Ruckus does seem to be more based off of his appearance in IDW, which makes sense because both of these figures and the way that they are, what their figures are drawing from, is their appearance in Stormbringer, where Ruckus was on Nebulos with Darkwing and Dreadwind, and Bludgeon was one controlling Thunderwing from the Axis Cradle in his lab. You can look at the lore videos for Bludgeon to really get that whole story. And you can go to the lore videos for Darkwind if you want what little Ruckus played in that particular conflict. But let's transform Ruckus and see what we can see. All right, so this is Ruckus in his vehicle mode. He does roll. He's got very nice rubberized plastic wheels, so that's kind of an interesting detail. His flip-out guns don't really want to flip out at this point, yes. So we go like that. I could theoretically take them out and put them in the other way, the opposite way, so that we're not just staring at the post where he would hold them in gun mode. So I guess that looks a little bit better. Overall, I'm pretty impressed with this. It's a very nice little compact car. It rolls really well. It pays appropriate homage to the original version of the toy, which I think is really nice. It doesn't really want to clip in, but I don't know if that's my own problems with getting this hand in or what. But it doesn't matter. It still rolls. It's still really nice. I like the representation of the figure. So this is a win in my book. I really like the way that the gun becomes the grill to the front of his buggy mode. I like that a lot, actually. I just wish that it was painted silver. But even so, it's a nice little thing. I love it when toys pack their accessories properly into their alt modes. I think that that's a nice touch. And he does still have a 5mm post here in the back for something, whether you want to add an armorizer or some kind of shield or missile or other accessory. So Ruckus is very nice. Ruckus is a very nice toy. I really like him, actually. I just wish he would stay together, but whatever. So let's move on to Bludgeon, who looks like he did in the original Don Figueroa design for Stormbringer. He has that weird open-mouthed tentacle face that I really appreciate. I liked it a lot in the comic. I don't think it translates very well here because it has to be a solid piece and it's not wires hanging down. But overall, I'm still fairly impressed with it. There really have been no changes aside from slight retooling of the chest here from the previous version of Bludgeon to this version of Bludgeon. In terms of retooling, it seems like very little actually went into it other than a changed chest plate and a changed head. And these things really do not want to stick in. They don't want to stick in at all. Okay, interesting. Fine, I'll just take it out for right now and he'll just hold it. He's going to bash you with his bashing cane. Overall, I can't really say that I like this version of Bludgeon more than I like the original version of Bludgeon. I appreciate the fact... I mean, I don't think anyone could have guessed that we would ever have gotten a figure of this Bludgeon. And I'm happy we did. I'm very happy we did. I'm actually really happy with the way he came out, because I love this particular interpretation of Bludgeon, because the lack of the bottom jaw, I think, is just very interesting. However, the colors are not great. I mean, there isn't really much they could have done, because the Stormbringer design is very drab for Bludgeon. All of the colors in that issue are very drab, other than when Thunderwing attacks Nebulos. But, I mean, Bludgeon is also in shadow a lot. He's not really seen, like, full view, so you could argue that this is actually what he looked like in that, and the drabness is just down to the fact that he wasn't standing in bright light or something. I don't really like the mustard yellow color. I think the green works, much the same way that the green worked in the original toy. That was a vibrant green, and this is a much more military green. I actually really like the color of the green, and I feel like the green makes the yellow or gold on his new chest plate really pop. But overall, I wouldn't say that I'm like happy with this weird mustard color. But I like the figure. They've done really nothing else to it, so it really is just the original Bludgeon figure. What more can I say? I did an exhaustive review of that, and this is nice. I mean, I like it. There's not much more that I can say. I like the particular design of its face, and once again, it feels very nice. It feels very heavy. They did seemingly replace the two pieces of clear plastic with full opaque plastic, so they are a lot stronger, it feels. Especially this back piece. Although, once again, I'm still wondering about that. The baton that comes out. But in any case, I like it. I like the new sword, actually. I think I may prefer this sword over the one that came with the original Bludgeon. But I think it really just comes down to how it goes with the color scheme of the figure. Because the other Bludgeon, his sword matched his color scheme, and this one matches this one. So, also, this is a return to the kind of silverish gray black threads from Tarn, rather than the completely black from the original Bludgeon version retool. So how about we get this guy transformed? So here we are. Once again, this is Bludgeon, looking very much like he did originally, just this piece is a different style, and it's a different style. Once again, these cannons are not staying in, which is very off-putting. Not much to say, it's the same thing. I still like it. I still think that the cannon is a little naff, being so far back. But yeah, I think it's serviceable. I mean, it didn't do anything from the original Bludgeon. They just changed his color and retooled his chest. That's it. So, I still like it. So here we are with Decepticon Ruckus and Decepticon Bludgeon from Stormbringer, IDW Stormbringer comic series. From the Doom and Destruction collection, Amazon exclusive. I have to say, I'm really impressed with what they did with the Beachcomber mold for Ruckus, and Bludgeon is Bludgeon. I like the look. I'm not terribly enthusiastic about the paint job, but I really like the retooled head, and I really like the retooled chest plate. Ruckus is actually my favorite of the two, oddly enough. I mean, It's very interesting, too, because I just saw the reveal images for Sentinel Prime, and that's clearly the Bludgeon, the Tarn Bludgeon mold. They've just slightly tweaked it so that his feet go all the way down, fold all the way down, and his arms fold up instead of just lying of each side. So, I mean, that was a interesting reuse of the mold. I wasn't expecting Sentinel to be another Tarn. But what can I say? These are pretty decent figures. I got them on sale. I don't know if I would pay the full retail price for the Doom and Destruction. Any of the Doom and Destruction series, quite honestly. Maybe Carnivac. Maybe Carnivac, because that's just a retool, repaint of Weirdwolf. And I really liked the Weirdwolf mold. Weirdwolf, the original G1 Weirdwolf was also one of the first Transformers I ever got in a store. New in box. And I mean, at that point, that was 1989, I think. So that tracks. This has been interesting. I don't know what to do with this baton. It just keeps falling out. It will not stay in there. Yes, so thank you very much, everyone, for joining me for Tarn Tuesdays, which have ballooned to 5 episodes instead of 4. 6 episodes. 6 episodes. I'm sorry, 6 episodes. This is the 6th Tarn Tuesday. So a month and a half of Tarn, or Tarn molds. But thank you very much for joining me for this. I hope that you enjoyed seeing what these toys were. And maybe it is encouraging you to go out and buy them. I would buy the Ruckus. If that was a deluxe glass figure, I would buy it. A really nice mold. It transforms nicely. Portions on its legs are a little wonky, but overall I like it. It's a really nice homage to the original G1 toy. So it's already got my vote for that. And this Bludgeon is all IDW. So once again, gets a pass from me. Going to continue rolling out Transformers. I mean, I've made some posts now about how I'm finalizing my collection room in my house. And I have a ton of boxed Transformers that I have never touched that I need to go through in order to put them on the shelves. So a lot more videos incoming. Maybe not themed like Tarn Tuesdays, but I mean, definitely more videos coming. If you like this video and you like this content and you would like to see more of it, please think about liking this video, commenting on it, and subscribing to the channel so you know when the next video drops. We always respond to comments, and I love talking Transformers. So feel free to drop us a line whenever. In any case, I have been Phantom. This has been The Shelves Have Eyes. Thank you very much for joining me for 6 episodes of Tarn Tuesdays. Have a good day.
Transformers, defenders of truth, robots who fight in disguise. Transformers.